The winner between Pittsburgh and Cincinnati not only takes the Big East title, but also the BCS berth, and in the case of the Bearcats, possibly a chance at the national title game. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz. Glad to be with you here on CBSSports.com. It's the college football preview show presented by Tyson Anytizers. Let's bring in CBS Sports' Spencer Tillman to break this down. And Spence, I say possibly because they would have to have Texas lose in the Big 12 title game and have to hop over TCU in the process. If Texas were to lose in the Big 12 title game, who do you think is most deserving? TCU, Boise State, or Cincinnati, all undefeated heading into the weekend?
Well, you take your hat off for all of them remaining undefeated like they have, but I think TCU clearly is the team that is more deserving. I mean, they're ranked in the top 5, both offense and defense, and when you look at that, it's hard to refute that. I mean, nobody can make that claim, not even Florida or Alabama. So they're a special unit, and they're deserving of that accolade. Well,
that's one thing that TCU can't do is play this weekend. They can't impress anybody because they're done. Cincinnati can because, obviously, they're playing Pittsburgh. The question here, Spence, because you got offense against defense. Cincinnati is one of the best offenses in the nation. Pittsburgh, one of the best defenses in the Big East. Can Cincinnati move the ball the way they have on everybody else?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I have to go back to Brian Kelly. He's one of the brightest minds in college football. And Jason, it's the way he wins ball games. You go back and look at his numbers. When this guy, he can play small ball. He can vertically open it up with their attack. Doesn't matter which quarterback he puts under center. He's going to have a record year. So their offense is prolific. Marty Gilliard and all the rest of those wide receivers are going to give you plenty of options if you're a quarterback for this program. Again, it's plug and play at this point. And the interesting stat for this team, I believe it's at 32-0 going into the fourth quarter. When they hold the lead, they're going to win. It doesn't matter if the game is, again, wide open attack or if it's small ball. This coach, Brian Kelly, is one of the best in the business.
Yeah, and that brings up an interesting point, too, because you look at Cincinnati and the scores, and you see that the Bearcats have been giving up a lot of points. But if you watch the games, all those points have been in catch-up mode. So how crucial is it for Pittsburgh to jump out early, and how do they do that?
You know, that's a great question. Again, Deion Lewis has got to get going on the ground. It would be helpful there. But again, because of the point you just made, I think the fact that Cincinnati can play either style, they can play long ball with you and score it up. They can huddle them out there and get them fast, or they can play slow ball if they choose to. It's really up to them. Last week, I think they totally abandoned the run and went purely to the pass and still got the victory. It's depending on what the circumstances requires them to do. And I think the great college football teams out there are able to kind of morph into whatever they need to be successful. And nobody does that better this year, in my opinion, than Cincinnati.
Well, that passing game led Tony Pike in his first start since re-injuring his arm in October to a school record 6 touchdown passes, a career high 399 passing yards. But again, Spence, you come back to Pittsburgh. I know they lost last week to West Virginia. Maybe it was a look-ahead game, maybe not. They always seem to win these tough, close games, especially at home. I go back to West Virginia 2 years ago when the Mountaineers had a chance to go to the BCS national title game and Pittsburgh knocked them off. There's something to that.
Yeah, there is a lot to it, but again, I say what I see, Jason, and not unlike what happened with Clemson, to a lesser degree Georgia Tech, but all of these programs are playing games the week prior to the one that really matters, a championship game. It's really important. You can learn a lot about the character of your team. As we've said on this program before, not everybody is capable of running with a full cup of success. And this young football team exposed itself last week in a game that technically had no bearing on this contest. They came out and laid an egg, in my opinion, and couldn't get scoring offensively. So I think that's a big issue, and that's not a switch that you can just turn on. So that's going to be an issue for Pittsburgh.
Well, Bill Stahl threw 2 picks. He had only thrown 4 all season before last game. He's got to take care of the football this week. So it sounds like you're taking Cincinnati, and it sounds like you like the Bearcats big, Spence.
Yeah, I do. I like them to win this one going away, perhaps by as many as 2 touchdowns. I think Brian Kelly wants to make a statement, and not just to Cincinnati Bearcat fans, but maybe somebody else out there who's looking for a coach as well.
Well, that's a possibility, and I know you're not going to give a little hint to the team that's just a little bit west of Cincinnati, being Notre Dame. We'll see. All right, Spencer Tillman, thank you very much. We'll see you Saturday on CBS, my friend.
All right, Jason, we'll see you, buddy.
All right, folks, for more on the essentially Big East Championship game, although there is no Big East Championship game, be sure to stay right here with CBSSports.com. It kicks off at noon Eastern on Saturday. For Spencer Tillman, I'm Jason Horowitz. That'll do it for the College Football Preview Show presented by Tyson Anytizers, the meaty Good Man Snack. Take care, folks.